go quickly over little details about the system. Now, Trail of Cthulhu and Call of Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu is a D100 system. Trail is a D6 system where you roll a D6. 4 is generally a success. Sometimes it's a bit harder. Sometimes it's a 3, for example, hitting. If you look at your sheets, you'll see you have something called hit threshold. That's what somebody needs to roll on a D6 to hit you.
All right.
Okay. Now you'll also notice over you have all your various skills. The 3 investigative groups are academic, interpersonal, and technical. They're things that have training in them, just always do. You can always do some physics stuff. Spending points from them, which you basically remove a point from the left side. Let's say you low. You guys intimidation. As long as you guys have those characters are there, you'll generally get details for the case.
Okay.
You'll have just enough to get by. You spend points from the to get the full details of what's going on. You'll always be able to figure out who the blood belongs to. But, if you spend a point, you get at that scene rather than 2 scenes later. Things like that. Or another example is, let's go with Cop Talk. You get the time of a death because you have.
You're kind of cutting in and out on my end.
You in to look at.
Yeah, me too.
You actually get in and see details of the case.
See?
Yes, I heard you. Yeah. Basically, spending provides a bonus or provides more. It gives more information.
Okay.
Okay.
Firearms to guarantee you make the shot no matter what, because even a 1 plus 3 is still 4.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. The only reason you'd ever want to spend over 3 points if you're trying to fish for a crit in a fight, or you're trying to run from something, because running is based on getting them. So
All right.
everybody will notice that there's a used for running. You can also use your athletics pool for running away. The only reason you have fleeing, if your character should run away or does run away, etc. A reporter probably doesn't want to be in a fight. Now then, I'm going to go over something. You're all in Siberia.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to go over why you're in Siberia. So World War I ended. That's the good news. And during that time period, a bunch of people from The Czech areas were brought over to fight for the Russians. Uh, and well, they got over here and they didn't want to stay after the fighting ended. So they've been using their trains, and they've got an armored train division. And these trains are basically battleships on rails with cavalry divisions in this giant, effectively a gypsy caravan heading back to Czechoslovakia. So that's what they're doing. Leave because everybody wants them on their.
Um. V, we can't hear you. Period. You're cutting out, and you're also now you keep cutting out, and sometimes you go for stretches of long of talking, but no sound is coming through Discord.
Okay, let's see. How am I sounding now?
All at the moment, but we'll see.
Uh, yeah, because the Czechs are trying to leave. They don't want to stay, but they're the worth a damn.
Oh, great, it's still happening.
Yeah, that is the reason why. Okay, am I coming in clearly, guys? Okay. There's nothing wrong with my headset. My inputs. Okay, blah, 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 blah. My input sensitivity is fine.
It just suddenly stopped.
I stopped talking, Wheel Girl. Can you hear me? Okay, did Wheel Girl just yell? It suddenly stopped right after I finished a statement. Good. So it's not actually that you guys, it's just that you guys immediately, when I make a pause on a statement, think I've gone. Okay, good.
There's a few times where you actually were pressing and no sound was coming.
Yes, I understand. It's fine. I'm not internet because they're using it. Anyways, as I was going to point out, yeah, so the Czechs are trying to leave. They are the only fighting force worth a damn. So everybody wants.
Except two. You really are cutting out, dude. Because the last thing we truly heard was everyone wants everyone wants to stay except.
Turn up my mic volume, Wheel Girl.
Did you? Your mic volume is not the problem. Because why? Because I can hear you fine, but there's times you're cutting out.
Mm-hmm. whatever Japan's gonna type it. Japan. Okay. Okay, so hopefully I can do this without someone shouting, I'm cutting out. That's derailing everything. Okay, so where was I? Czechoslovakia train. It's basically a gypsy caravan heading back there. It's in a lot of ways. It's got armored trains, cavalry divisions, and more. The Americans are working with which group during the Russian Civil War?
The white side, I think.
Yes, that is accurate. The Americans are providing the supplies for the whites. So that's part of what you guys are doing. And you had a journalist document it. That is why Kiri is there. Amongst other beautiful, wonderful things, this is probably going to be the last train going through Siberia because it's the problem isn't so much that the Reds are attacking you, but what it is the whites that are along the trail that you have to get to the city. Vladivostok, Vladivostok. I stumbled on it. Still probably stumbling on it. They are basically charging you guys for supplies along the way. Supplies that aren't supposed to be going to them because they already have plenty.
They're assholes.
No, they're taking those supplies and then selling them to the Reds to make money, amongst other things. So one of you,
measures, but that's a dumb idea.
yes. So one of the things is that is very common is for you guys to sometimes, if you need a coal refill, is to leave the money for the coal and just take what you need without actually officially buying it. Because otherwise they'll try and take supplies while they load the coal, etc. Or other things. Yeah.
So basically, we're on a trip of watch out for everybody because everybody's a dick in one way or another.
Wait, it gets better. So thing is, Siberia was controlled by the Reds for a while. The whites to take back Siberia. And furthermore, besides, the Russians and the whites and the Czechoslovakians are in Siberia. Because
the Reds are also known as the Bolsheviks, if you want to make that sound right.
The Japanese are also in Siberia. Because they just tried to get Manchuria. By the by, that's the thing. So if you've ever seen the Good, the Bad, and the Weird, that movie.
Never heard of it.
Thank you, Wheel Girl. I was going to explain what the terrain is. You didn't need to shout in at every statement. It's rocky mountains, desert, and plains all smashed together. That's the type of terrain you guys are starting in, going into, deeper Siberia. So you're starting in that type of terrain and going into Siberia. The good news is it's summer. So you don't need to have good insulation on the train. The bad news is, whereas the Czechoslovakians have basically, battleships on rails, you're on the American trains. The Americans have exactly one armored train.
Oh, crap.
You're not on it.
Damn it.
It was stolen from Otovan Semenov. He's a lovely gentleman who is the person that you're delivering supplies to. He works for the whites. You'll know him and his men by the fact that his men have Japanese equipment. And unless you guys inglorious bastards him, he is going to live through this, survive into the foreseeable future, and be very important in Japanese suppression of the Chinese during World War II. Among other lovely things he did include throwing men into the fireboxes of his trains. Besides, of course, all the gangster stuff that he's doing at this time. Let's see. Where do we start? There's just a lot of horrible things that all of your characters have seen. Last winter, all your characters, except for the reporter, saw the sledgehammer murders, which is where out into the middle of a frozen lake, shattered it with sledgehammers to cause them all to freeze to death. And because by the end of the winter, the gas in their bodies would have escaped enough to the bottom. So the ice would seal them up, gases would escape, and they would never have to worry about the bodies. Meanwhile, you guys have probably heard about or were directly involved in the fact that a bunch of whites went to a whorehouse in Vladivostok, the place that you're going to, and basically started carving up the prostitutes. That is a thing that actually happened. And the Americans there at the time basically went Rambo on them with their 45s. Yes. And in other news, you've also only heard about this one, but the Reds captured a large amount of whites, and they then, the whites that didn't convert to the red side, they poured boiling water on because they would turn them red even if they didn't want to be.
Oh, they took it literally just to piss on them.
For added fun, if you guys make it to your end location, you can meet the black man from Kentucky that plays the piano that's living there, who is an actual person who married a Russian woman and is living in Siberia because a large amount of soldiers deserted to Russia to their eternal regret because of what's going to happen in a few years.
Yeah, this is going to turn ugly.
Human misery is a delicious thing. You're going, so yeah, Manchuria and Siberia are the Wild West at this time. They're really just awful. Everybody's awful, and frankly, half the people on your train think that probably because the whites are so awful, the reds are the good guys, because it's just how it has to be.
War is hell.
Yep. Well, here's to educate the people that the Reds are really the bad guys.
Both sides are bad guys.
Even worse.
We don't have dude, our character doesn't have can't see the future, so they can't say that.
Yeah. Oh well. So.
Yep. Yeah, so now that I'm going to talk about your train. So you're not in one of those fancy armored trains. Instead, what you guys are in can best be described in a very simple way. So your train is technically slightly armored. It's not fully armored, but using the map, as you can see, I'm going to quickly explain what it is. It's armored, air quotes, in the fact that it's got metal railings around it that then they've filled and they basically made a smaller, they've made a slightly larger box around the actual train platform. And in that area between the two, they've put a base and they've filled sandbags. So rather than actually having traditional armor, you're filled with sandbags, which will in fact protect against small arms fire and rifles.
Good.
Downside.
Something.
So the doors door areas can't be armored.
Oh crap.
So if you guys are gonna do a firefight, the one place you don't want to
Mhm.
be is the doors. On the plus side, your train does in fact have an artillery cannon.
That's something at least.
So yeah. So this is basically what your train is, and it's got sliding doors there that it can use to slide in and open. It's a lovely little thing. It's not the worst thing. It's not the best thing. Basically, the only light, by the by, are basically holes for you to stick your guns through. So it's kind of dark. It's kind of dreary, and all in all, not the worst.
Mm-hmm. So, where should we put our characters, like, in this thing?
You don't really need to put your characters anywhere. We're not going to really need maps unless, you guys want maps, because maps, it's all about the theater of the mind, for one. But if you want to put yourselves on the trains, you can put yourself on the train. You guys are all, lieutenants or assisting military personnel.
Mhm.
That's the good news. And you get
I
to work
am
together.
good because in this case, I didn't really. What I have in mind, I don't really have a picture for.
I thought you DM'd V something.
Just representing the closest thing I had.
Yeah,
Had to
it
what I
doesn't
wanted.
fit. It's
Yeah.
Octopus Lady.
I
It
wasn't actually going to use the picture per
I
se.
know, Wheel Girl. I know you were. You don't need to shout. Yeah. So your job, should you choose to accept it and not just desert, is to get the Vladisotics to lump your supplies with Semenov and maybe not rewrite history and murder him, or maybe do that. Uh, it's not like he's going to go on to be involved in anything horrible that's happening in World War II, Japan versus China. Speaking of which, Semenov's right-hand man is also known as the Bloody White Baron. I posted a link to his Wikipedia article for all of you.
I'm going to say this. Can you please stop doing nudging to the future relative to the time period of the game?
I'm explaining history, Wheel Girl, so you have a sentiment of what's going on. And it's Roman von Eugen Sternberg, who you will all know definitely about because he's one, Semenov's right-hand man. Two, he's around. Three, if he's drunk, you don't want to be near him because he will challenge you to a duel, and he will then try and murder you.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And the only reason he did not get court-martialed is because he killed more German officers doing that than Russian officers. To put this in perspective, he personally killed at least 43 Jews during his time in Mongolia. When he was just in Mongolia, that's a thing. Yeah, he did a lot of really, really horrible things.
Feels unclean.
Yep. The captain, Tom Skins, looks at all of you, and unless any of you want to talk with each other, you guys are going to get on the railroad to success.
Deplorator said hand.wikipedia.org.
And after some time rolling along on your rail path, uh, it's a good 2-3 days in before you get to your first stop. To get some coal, minor things. Uh, you get to the lot of you can hear some yelling going on from the back of the
What kind
train.
of yelling?
Hmm.
Like, what kind of yelling?
Oh, yelling in a language that a lot of you don't understand. To put this in perspective, Kiri, you're the only person on the train that understands.
Ooh, what's being said? Or yelled?
Well, it's a Japanese person, basically this Japanese, yelling at what sounds like one of your men at the back of the train as you guys are getting cool. Because it's a Japanese controlled station, so it's actually going normal. You're paying for your supplies. No one's being, awful. Nobody's trying to.
If you're saying someone's being yelled at, something awful might have happened or something for someone needing to yell.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that something awful in the normal sense of what you're all used to is not happening. In a different sense, something awful's happening. And it sounds like there's shouting going on. And the soldiers shouting back in English. And it's mostly him saying, I don't understand what the bloody you're saying.
There should be
Should we
saying
do
something.
something?
Like, how far back? Does it sound like it's like 8 car behind? Well, probably.
That's it's getting
Okay.
refueled. To answer that, it's your train's only about 8 cars, including the engine, so it's not that far back. It's probably 2 or 3 cars back.
Okay.
I go and look what's
I'll
happening.
I'll accompany Blake. Mr. Ramirez, would you please accompany us?
Sure.
Right. So we follow Blake towards the shouting.
Yeah, you get and he's pointing at what is a American which you can all remember was actually on the train and earlier. It seems like probably the same officer ripped it off
Oh boy.
and is yelling at the soldier about it. Cassandra, he's yelling about how it's insulting for the American allies to fly their flag rather than the Allied Siberian Railway Forces flag.
Well, yeah, here's the thing.
Hmm.
Us Americans. Okay, a question. As the person who was speaking to me was in Japanese or English, what language is
The officer is shouting in Japanese. He's shouting at that guy, and as you guys approach, he's looking at all of you
Okay.
oddly.
So, in Japanese, I'll be replying to him. Well, us Americans, especially those within the military, they take a lot of pride in displaying the colors of our nation. I imagine that there's probably a great deal of pride as well for Japanese soldiers such as you to display the colors of the Imperial Japanese Army.
He scoffs at that. Ugh, it's insulting. If you're gonna fly your flag, you should be flying our flag as well.
I can speak to the officer and
Okay.
maybe see something could be worked out.
No, do it
I-
now.
Okay. I go to the officer. So, the Japanese soldier here, kind of annoyed that.
We're not going to put up a goddamn Jap flag on our goddamn train. What's
Just
wrong with
hold
you?
it underneath the American flag. They don't have to.
That would just get them more incentivized. They'd want us to run 2 flags at the same mast.
Out of curiosity, like on the train, is there like room for like multiple masts, or actually, is there multiple masts, or is it just like one main mast and that's it?
There are definitely multiple. There's one for each box, but that would basically mean you'd have to put one on one train box, and you'd have to convince the soldiers inside to let it be flown. Which, to keep in mind, a large amount of the soldiers here are basically train engineers hired from Wisconsin and then brought in just for that purpose.
That would piss them off. That's not gonna work.
Well,
Hmm.
I don't suppose that the Japanese would understand the cultural significance that we have of like placing a flag beneath Old Glorious, about underneath the Stars and Stripes. Do you suppose they might understand that significance?
I don't know because I don't know.
I was asking the officer.
I don't know.
Well,
You're asking me a question that I can't give you an answer for.
Make it up because it doesn't have to be
Well-
100% accurate.
I some.
That's the officer's response, Wheel Girl.
Well, and I guess just unfortunately it may incentivize them, but just put it underneath underneath the Stars and Stripes. That way, at least we would understand that it's our mission. They're just here to assist us, and it might be enough.
There's going to be some more yelling after you put the flag up after your statement. Seems he does understand, or he's insulted that the Japanese flag isn't the same height as the American flag.
Who works for who right here?
The
I'm not-
Japanese work for the Japanese railway. They don't work for you guys, but they're allies.
Okay. How about this? On the flags where it's just us Americans, we have our flag. On the flag with just the Japanese, on the boxes with just the Japanese, they get their flag. I honestly.
There are no Japanese soldiers on your train. It's your
Oh,
train.
okay.
It's an American train. He's just causing bullshit because he's a Japanese officer trying to get his
you
way.
mentioned officers, so I thought there were like some Japanese soldiers as well. Okay.
No, you're in a
Alright,
Japanese
that was just
train
me
station.
mishearing it then. Okay.
Oh.
As I said,
Alright, my bad.
Listen, this is an American train, so if you don't like it, just shoot. Just shoot.
Yeah, I'm gonna get away before the bullets start flying. If that's the case.
when you say that, he's just gonna blink and he's gonna start yelling at you some more. Hugo, you can spend me an intimidate point if you want.
I'll do that.
You have intimidation, yes.
How do I do that?
You go over to the left column and you reduce it from 3 to 2. It's as simple as that. There. Yeah, that's how you spend a point from your pool. Same like if you say you're going to do a firearms roll. You say you'll spend 2 points, so you reduce your 12 to 10, and then you roll a d6 plus 2. Okay. The guy's going to balk at the fact that you're kind of staring him down as you say that, and he away angrily.
See? Problem solved.
Honestly, that's how they solved a lot of those situations. Is the Americans would shout historically to the other groups that were
We shout louder, thus we establish dominance.
will fucking fight back, and that basically became the thing. Just like that's how they were able to make the special Manchuria detachment listen to them. Seminol's personal men, because it turns out armed soldiers fight back, unlike women and children.
Hmm.
Okay.
So,
So basically the shouting's more or less dying down, I'm guessing.
Yeah, there's a bit more shouting, but then the Japanese soldiers kind of turned tail because they weren't able to intimidate out. So yeah, it's a standard day in Siberia.
Well, so like how long is the train going to be, would it take for the train to be refueled? Or resupplied as well?
It's not much. You're just doing a minor refueling here to make sure you have enough supplies to get to Vladistos that can back out. It's, one of those things where you get some minor supplies along the way to make sure you can make the big trip back in one go.
okay.
It's like, oh, you're getting 1 day's worth of fuel here. You go the next 3 days to the next town. You get 1 day's fuel there. Then you get to the final place. You get all the fuel you need to make it all the way back.
Okay.
It's basically you're filling up as you go to make sure you don't run out in case something
In the
happens.
event that the next station is abandoned for some reason.
Yeah, or they steal supplies along the way.
Equally as likely.
Yeah, refueling, etc. And that's also why you get enough that it's worthwhile, but you don't. Well, overstock. Yeah. Yep, it's a fun little balancing act, as it were. Yep. Anyways, yay. You all are going to make it along the way. As you're passing up the road, you see some nice crucifixes.
Like the Russian Orthodoxy types?
By what type of crucifix? No, I mean crucifixes with people crucified on them.
Holy shit! People still do that.
Yeah, they did it, and that's
Pray for
everything I mention here that is not supernatural is based on actual recountings.
I'm gonna take pictures.
Yeah.
Would that require me to?
That is.
For me to take pictures, would that also require me to spend a point for photography?
You can spend a point for photography to do that. Yeah. You don't have to do it to do a photograph shoot. That's the thing. If you have points, you can always do investigative skill. Spending points means they're like super high quality.
Okay,
they're
so
amazingly
take,
good photos.
A couple of photos along the way, and whatever quality they are.
Yep. Spend the point is basically like I instantly get the high quality photos I need for various reasons. Yep. And
very disturbing.
There we go. Yep. It's you guys make it to your next train stop. Yay, next train stop. You guys are greeted by a man who is, based on the fact that he's wearing Japanese arms, probably means part of the special military candidate because he's one, not Japanese. Two, he's speaking to you in slightly broken English.
Hello.
Next up, besides the fact that he's wearing a shit ton of medals, probably a lot of which are taken off of fallen comrades.
Let's hope.
And some fallen enemies, maybe, etc. normal stuff. And he's like, no can do. Don't have any coal right now.
That's disappointing.
I'm going to.
No coal. You'll have to wait. Have to wait. Pull you
How long
over.
would we have to wait for to get coal?
2 days. No, can't wait. You need pull over. Other train come through.
I'm going to spend a... Okay, assessing honesty. That basically be like detecting if somebody's lying, right? I'm going to
Yep,
spend a
spend a
point on
point.
that because I'm thinking he's lying to us. Do I suspect if he's lying to us? Yep.
You spent the point. Okay. First up. Oh, he's definitely lying about the coal. You can see that because you can see the coal silo. But the other train coming up, it sounds like there actually is another train that's going to be coming up, and it's coming up faster than you guys are going. So
Okay.
they want you out of the way.
Like how far away from like the front of the train are we? Like the engine?
You guys are one behind the engine because you include the head sniper, the head military engineer, the important civilian asset, and you have the captain nearby.
So, I'm okay.
So the answer is
I'm gonna
yes.
go up ahead and try to inform the what would be the term? The conductor of the train. There's another train coming. Is there like maybe like a split in the rail up ahead that we could get into?
To answer that, at the time in Siberia, there doesn't become many splits except for on certain parts of the rail. Like only half of it has 2 rail lines. So that's probably why the guy wants you to pull over now and get you onto the side rail here in town. Because, so here's how it goes. You guys for the last 3 days from the last town to this town, and there was no double railing. Now that you're here in town, it's split, so there's 2 rails. So they want you to go onto the other rail, which you'll be on for a day or 2.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay. Actually needing to be waited for, or are you guys going to try and steal it, or are you guys going to head out?
You broke up a little bit.
Are you guys going to wait the 2 days for the coal, or are you going to head out? Or are you going to make a snatch and grab?
I'm willing to just like maybe deposit some money and grab a little.
How do you say wait?
What was that, Jim Pan?
How do you say wait?
Okay, so 1 for wait, 1 for try to acquire. Ty, wheels.
Yes.
Wait, do we try to acquire some coal?
We need to assess how easy it is to take the coal before we decide whether that's a good idea.
Well, I can see the silo.
Probably be easy. Hopefully they don't have a good defense watching around it.
Probably guarded by at least a couple of men.
So I'm guessing you two are suggesting wait then.
Yeah, because it's better. Because if there's actual guards, I think we might get our heads into something and probably piss off the Japanese.
Okay.
I don't like these bastards, but right now is their game.
Okay.
Now.
So we wait.
Okay.
We're basically we're in their territory basically, and if we fuck up, we're in hot water because we're surrounded, essentially.
All right, so we're waiting, I guess.
Yeah, you're waiting. Speaking of which, as you guys are setting up, you can see the guy that you talked to earlier. You got his name as Oberon, and he's talking with the captain about, from what you can hear, supplies. All of you, and he's requesting to take some supplies.
Oh, great.
Oh boy.
Well,
No.
that's.
I quietly
Uh,
walk up to the captain, like, "Excuse me, is there any help? Excuse me, is something the matter here?"
I.
Uh, Captain looks at you. Blasted fools requesting supplies and more bullshit.
Why? I thought you had enough supplies. After all, you have enough fuel.
I don't know why he wants more supplies. He probably doesn't. I don't know what's wrong. You know how they work.
Excuse me, Mr.
Oberon.
Oberon. Why do you want more supplies?
Well, obviously, we need them. We have the Red Menace right here.
Yes, we are
Oh.
going. Yes, we are also going to chase the Red Venice around town. So you stripped our supplies so that we're weak and you're strong, right?
You're a supply train. You're supposed to bring supplies. We need supplies.
Yeah, a supply train for up north. If think about it, if up north loses because we did bring enough supplies, then they're going to come down here faster. Am I right?
But then we will have the supplies we need.
To get your butt kicked.
I don't think you're looking at this right. Do you want? Do you rather have the redhead this way, or you to have enough stuff but get creamed later?
The doctor yells at the guy. Yeah, he's going to try. He's going to be kind of arguing in circles with you on this for a bit, Ty, with Hugo, which is luckily it's also not helped by the fact that neither of you fully speak each other's language. You speak broken Russian. He speaks broken English. It's the greatest argument ever. After a while,
Laughing, enjoying this comedic moment of basically an argument going in circles around and around.
luckily you actually do have cop talk, so you're going to be able to and other things that you're able to convince them to be patient. And after a bit, the man grumbles and accepts he'll just have to be patient and waves you off so you can go down the secondary set of tracks. Yep. But yeah, you guys are, yeah, it takes a bit, but you get it. You get what you need, which is freedom from the city, and your supplies aren't stolen. And yay! And Ron is very late, which means you have no explosives expert.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fine. You'll be fine. Anyways,
Hopefully.
yeah, you guys get to see the lovely sight of the. You guys get to pass by the lake where the sledge. That's not actually. You don't pass by that, but yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Fun things. So everybody, roll me a d6.
Well, 1d6.
Yep, 1d6.
Perfect.
So it's the reporter and the doctor that are up. It's probably about 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. As you guys are up, you're on the side rail. It's going to rejoin the other rail in a day from now, but it's nighttime, so you're pulled over because you only got so many shoveling crews. And as you're pulled over, and probably 5 feet from you is the other track, 10 feet at most. You, Cassandra and Nina, you see it only because the shadow moving past another train. It doesn't really make any sound. That's the thing that's strange.
Wait, how's the train going by us but making
Cassandra
no
just rubs
sound
her eyes,
whatsoever?
she just rubs her eyes to see if it maybe knocks some sleep out of her.
Yeah, you do that, and you can still see it. It's rolling past. It's going. It's moving, and it's not making any sense. It's a fairly decent-sized train.
I'm going to take my camera out and take a picture, just in case I'm hallucinating.
Okay, you'll have to spend a photography for that. Yay! You'll mark it off,
Yep.
Cassandra Douglas. Cassandra Douglas, ace reporter.
Oh yeah, speaking of, how exactly do you recover these points?
You recover some of the general pay, and you recover one investigative at the end of every session, and you recover all the investigatives after a scenario ends.
Well, I probably took a very good, high-quality portrait of, what might be a ghost train. Out of curiosity, is there any light or anything in the train? From the cabins in the train?
There's has to be something for us to notice the train in the first place.
There's one light on the front of it, but it's kind of off color. But the other thing is you're close enough by that when a train moves past you, door open to let some air in, etc., and other things, and the light of the stars, etc., you just see a shadow. As you pull up the camera, etc., and set up, you get a picture of it. It's going past. It's a train. If something that's 10 feet tall zips past you at over 50 miles per hour, you notice it, even in the dark.
Yep.
True, but I'm still I'm kind of creeped out that how is this train moving with no sound
Look,
whatsoever?
obviously it's a maglev train.
And that's where we get...
Dude, I don't think those existed in that time period.
Well, out of curiosity, how long is the train? How many cars long? Roughly, can we tell? Or is it just, really friggin' long?
It's at least 6 cars long.
A creepy but short train.
Supply train's only 8-9 cars long. To be fair, it's a supply train, so there's only 20 people on it, which is a short amount of people.
Yes, but we don't even know what kind of train this silent train passing by is.
That's true, and it's fast. Probably faster than your train.
That is true. Good thing we're off.
For all we know, we're just dreaming.
Yeah.
That would be weird for two people to have the same exact dream.
Yeah. Also, you can kind of smell an off scent in the air a bit, and you have the photo. But as you're sitting there, things boiling down, the train's gone, and you have a photo, which you can develop to show it all its glory. it's a slightly unsettling thing. Speaking of which, since you actually took the photo, you got
What
the
was it?
name of the train. Chernobog.
Huh. That's an odd name for a train.
What kind of skill would I need to, like, see if that has any real significance? Well, I suppose I could just ask people in the morning.
You have to ask somebody with either theology or occult.
Nope, I don't have any of those.
I.e., Hugo and Blake know. I.e., you can ask Hugo
Okay.
and Blake. They
I can
both
ask
have
them
it.
in the morning.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I'll also write down the name Chernobog in like my little notebook, which I imagine that the reporter probably has.
It's gonna be great when Asia comes out in a few years.
What comes out in a few years?
Mm-hmm.
Fantasia.
Am I
Oh,
getting another one?
No, this is before the very first
Or I'm
Fantasia
just-
came out.
Oh, I got confused in my own head, by the way. And that was 1940. So
I'm making a reference to the fact that the demon in the first Fantasia is called Chernobog.
I know that. I didn't know that when I watched Fantasia, but I found that out through Kingdom Hearts.
Yep, so I write it down, and once the train's gone by, does it look like anything else is happening? Like any other movement?
No, not really. You could smell something that's kind of off, some acrid scent in the air.
I'll also write down in my note, acrid smell.
Yeah, and you know, as it comes to about 6 in the morning, Blake, you wake up along with Hugo. Hugo, Blake, you're both up! Yay!
Okay, that was weird.
Oh, speaking of which, Cassandra, Nina, both roll me a d6. Cassandra only loses 1 stability because it's just an odd thing. And so does Nina. They only lose 1.
God, it was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a odd silent train named Chernobog. It's nothing really stood out.
I
as
looked to my
crazy.
I looked at a little notepad.
Yeah.
Is there actually stuff written down on it? Huh.
Yes.
So that happened.
That's part of the reason why it's like, oh, that did happen.
That's kind of weird.
Yep.
Well,
What happened?
We saw a silent train go by, and we found out through a photo that it's named Chernobog for some strange reason.
there's also
Sorry, train named Chernobog?
So what's special about that?
well, the
train
other thing is
going
that it was completely silent. It was
Trains
completely
can't be silent.
At least not in 1920.
They have, yeah, it's got a combustion engine with coal. There's heat and sound and noise and smoke, and there was none of that.
A silent train.
There was like the light on the front of the train. It was like off. I'm not exactly sure how to best describe it. There was also this acrid smell. Not really sure what that was. So, I mean, like, have any of you like ever heard of like some story or legends about some like ghost train called Chernobog or something?
So since the two of you are both military people, because one of you technically is a military chaplain, we'll start with the and then we'll go to the military sniper. So first up, Mr. Sniper and Mr. Chaplain, you both have theology. So Chernobog's a old Slavic deity. That's the both remember. A lot of early Christians though try to turn him. I think you all pestilence, disease, and other things. Bad things that lead into good things potentially down the line. It's part of the cycle of things. It's also just bad things in general. There's a lot going on with Chernobog, but and occult, it's never a good sign to name something Chernobog because you're basically calling it the devil.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because of occult things. And one of you, theology, can spend an occult.
I have one occult, so I can spend that.
Okay. So here you go. You're going to spend theology?
Yeah.
Oh, occult.
You will go, Blake. You both remember from various rumors that it's called the ghost train. It's the train devil. This is all where we get to the actual fictional stuff. Fun things, yay! This train is supposedly was pulled from hell by Semenov himself to serve in his evil deeds, is what you've heard by some of the whites in the area, your supposed allies. People are terrified of it. They think that it's a demon sent from hell to take them and the Reds with it, and that Semenov has sold his soul. That's the things that you guys both remember about it. It's not just that though. There's no real records of it. It just kind of exists. That's what makes it odd. It's a train that came about under his control. It's armored, it's quiet, and it's painted black. And people that see it don't last long.
People that see it don't last long? Uh-oh.
Yes.
Oh,
And I took a
shit.
picture. I could put that in a newspaper and
Yay,
boy.
picture.
Why am I getting like a
I-
ring feeling if I put that photo into a newspaper and everyone sees it?
And everybody loses one stability. Yay. So lower your stability by 1 if it's not already been lowered by 1. So Nina's down to 8 and Curie's down to 10. It's nothing that it's weird, it's odd, it's a train. It's a train, it's a train. Train.
It's a train that basically said that if you see it, you're basically dead meat.
Not necessarily. It could just be bad
Yeah.
things happen. Not always death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just to keep my notebook, my little notepad out at nights, just in case. If anyone sees something, or if they see
Yeah.
that train again, write it down.
Yeah, hopefully you don't see the train again,
Have to wait and see.
Yeah. So, I'm just gonna have a nice cup of tea and try and pretend that last night just didn't happen and
Yeah.
just assume it was a bad dream. It's just a story.
She
right?
sounds good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, tea sounds good, yeah.
Yeah. Tea.
Let's.
Some tea.
Tea's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we have tea. Does the tea help calm us down?
Yeah, you all have tea. It's lovely. The tea does help you feel a bit better.
Yeah, but still a bit. Still have the thought of you just heard in the back of my head.
Mm-hmm. So I guess our train will be heading out soon.
So, yeah, you head out after another hour or so. You know, everybody gets warmed up. They get the engine warmed up,
Yep.
etc. And
Mm-hmm.
you guys are on the road. You're heading towards the most lovely place to be. You know, you're heading to effectively Moss Isley / the Wild West put together.
The land of...
You know,
Yep.
the road stick. Land of trading scalps for beer. And Russian oligarchs selling Fabergé eggs to get out.
Okay.
I've probably pronounced that thing wrong like 4 different times, and none of them are
Fabergé?
actually correct
Yeah,
to what it
you
actually is.
pronounced it right.
No, not Fabergé. No, the town that you guys are going to. I think I've at one point said Vladivostok, which I'm pretty sure is actually a town from a...
Yes, Vladivostok.
Yes. Yes. I think I pronounced it every wrong way possible this time. I got it once right. Yep. So you guys make the journey to the place. It is nice and there's not cake. Actually, you're not there yet. You pull into the next town. And, well, you guys have some time. It's going to take a day or so because they have to switch you back onto the main track. So this is just taking time to switch you onto the main track. Because otherwise you guys would go the wrong way.
Oh no, we don't want to go to Manchuria.
But in the meantime...
Especially Manchukuo. We won't get paid because we didn't do our job.
Yeah, so in the Yeah, so you got time to go talk to the locals and stuff.
Okay. So, we're in Vladivostok. Time to talk to the locals.
Not yet. You still got another stop or two to get there. Yeah, it's a long ride up. It's boring and it's long, and frankly, a lot of you are hot and...
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking like pictures as we go along the road, like for things that are like, you know, kind of neat looking, odd looking, things like that. Just like general photographs. Not enough to where I would have to spend a skill. Not enough where I'd have to spend a skill.
You don't spend a skill for taking photos. You only needed to spend it because you're trying to get a photo off in the middle of the night on a train that's moving past at very fast rates while you're sleepy. And get a good quality photo. You know, it's the 360 no scope.
Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. Okay. So, as you're contemplating everything you're seeing, you see some Fabergé eggs being traded hands, and other lovely things. History in the making. You see...
out of curiosity, is like a place here where I could like my character could develop her photos? Because I imagine she's probably gone through...
Yeah, yes, there is.
And out of character, I don't exactly know how they managed photographing back then, because I don't know if they had reels back then.
What you would do is you'd use your credit rating, you'd lower it, and you basically rent a place using your money. Speaking of which, the money that you guys have, because you're in Siberia, they won't, the Russian money isn't good. So, the Japanese money isn't good. So,
American.
Do you know what money you're trading in? Nope. Mexican gold dollars.
Okay, that's really random.
It until about the 1940s or 50s, I believe, the standard, black market currency / currency that was used by other groups rather than being American was the Mexican dollar because it's gold and silver. Gold and silver has a value
Okay.
Okay.
because it was gold and
So
silver.
spend a point for credit rating then?
Yeah, basically you give some guy some money that has a photo place, and you and one of the burly men, either Blake or Hugo, goes with you to
Hugo?
make sure you don't get attacked.
Okay, Blake then.
I
Blake
follow.
volunteered.
Yep, and as you guys are going across, since you have evidence collection of 2,
Where's evidence?
and other things, we get the very fun thing of how do I put this? The funnest thing ever, of course.
Mhm.
One, you see the train. You have more than one photo of it. You have the one that says "Turn the Bog" because you got that flash. You saw the name. You see that. It's odd, really. It almost looks like the wheels are coated in a grease or a slime that it left as a residue trail on the tracks.
Huh.
And yeah, as you see that, you both remember that you saw some of that stuff on the other tracks as you guys came into town. So, you can always examine that. It's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should get the guys.
Yeah. Also, the light looks kind of like an eyeball. That's weird.
Yeah.
I definitely think we should show Hugo and what was Wheel's character's name again? Nina. Yeah, definitely should show
Nina.
Hugo and Nina these.
Yeah.
And definitely we should probably also get them and take a look at those the tracks, because I think we might want to get like a small sample of that grease stuff, because I don't know, that kind of seems weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, I guess after leaving the area where the photos were developed, we go and try and locate Nina and Hugo. Also, the photos are like probably in like a briefcase or something my character has. Yep,
you have a briefcase for that.
Hmm?
Probably more of a satchel bag, but yeah.
So, do I find those two?
Yeah, you can collect some of the grease because you have evidence collection. You now have slimy grease.
What the hell?
That smells kind of acrid.
Hey, why does it smell so
I
acrid?
remember. Follow me back into the cab, into our car, and I'll explain.
Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it.
Oh please! My first
Don't
reaction to that
you
stuff is probably
dare.
poke it with a stick and see what happens. Yeah,
Kind of
I
jiggles.
collected it, and it's on a stick.
The stick melts a bit where you poked it.
It actually melted.
No, like where you poke the stick kind of gets a little bit limp, like it's melted or
Ooh.
being digested.
That's weird. You guys, you saw that, right? I'm not imagining this.
Yeah.
That looks like it's some kind of acid due to
That
how it melted
would
like
at least
that.
explain the acrid smell.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, is there anything about acid or anything in like related to Chernobog? Like, out of character, would can they answer that without spending a point?
Not really. No, not that comes to either the to his minds. Though there's some things of pestilence, disease, insects, other bad things.
Okay, so
Normal
not
bad
acid
things.
specific, but
He's after all, no, nothing acid specific. He is considered a dark and accursed god.
also, I guess, are we in the train car? Like,
Pardon?
once we're done, like, testing, like, after poking it with the stick, the grease with the stick and seeing it kind of melting. Guys, I think we should go back to our car, to our box car.
We head back in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when we get back in there, I'm going to take out the photographs of the train. So, please tell me what you see in these photos.
I thought. Wait. Why does the front light of the train look
Like
like
I
an
said,
eyeball?
it looked off. It was kind of moving fast, so I didn't really get a chance to really notice it. And, as you can see here, as it's like the wheels itself are coated in that stuff. So, it's...
Well,
It jiggles a bit as you show it, wiggling. It's not melting to the cloth that you're holding it in because you have to pick it up in a cloth. You're like a handkerchief
I
that's holding
then
it.
tossed the handkerchief out the car into the snow. Oh,
The
it's
handkerchief
not
isn't dissolving or anything.
Oh,
I'm saying
okay,
the
so
handkerchief's
it's basically
fine.
like hissing, like burning.
It's not doing this like it's not doing the hissing like the stick.
Huh.
hey, so we got a weird substance here that acts somewhat like acid to a stick, but not
I would
cloth.
not recommend touching it because I don't know what would happen.
Yeah.
I think we should put this maybe in a corner and
We
we
go
don't
to
touch it.
Where
Go
we?
into that corner ever.
Yeah, but we need to make sure it's all secure because of the
Mhm.
because of train movement.
Okay, what I could do is this.
It just is still jiggling. And Kiri broke up. For
Okay,
me.
like, is it like leaking
Yeah.
out of the handkerchief, or does it look like it's like well contained? Well, leaking.
Does it
through
look like
the,
it's what to it?
handkerchief.
Oh, it's not leaking. It's just sitting on the handkerchief perfectly still. It's almost
Okay.
even though
What I'm
it's
going
a
to try
jelly.
and do is this. I'm going to
Looks
grab
like-
each corner and try and tie it up. First start with 2 corners, tie those up. Grab the other 2 corners. Loop that in between the other 2 corners. And pull on it so it becomes nice and tight. And tie that up into a knot. So, not enough to where it would, like, possibly push it out because it's getting too tight. But enough to where at least it would seal it.
Yeah, okay. So now you filled handkerchief. That's jelly. Delicious jelly.
Okay, so basically it's like secure so it wouldn't like leak out. Okay.
Yeah, it can't leak
At
out
least
now.
solves that. So we don't have to worry about that leaking out. Because it basically started melting through his stick. On the floor, it would probably just burn its way through.
So you got this thing. It's just full of delicious jelly.
It's not delicious delicious jelly or jello, whatever it is, if it can burn a goddamn melt
But
a
it can't
goddamn
seem to. It
stick.
doesn't affect cloth.
Or metal.
We never tested metal.
Check for yourself.
Yeah.
The train tracks.
You never tested human either.
I mean, hey, I had the perfect idea. Poke it with a stick. See what happens.
Poke.
So
Well,
Blake's
that's what we
poking
did
it.
first to learn that it was dangerous.
It's kind of squishy, Blake. What are you doing with it? You're poking with what?
I poke the stick again.
So poking it with a stick again. Okay.
Poking with another stick. Okay, the same thing happens if it's a wood stick. If you poke with a wood stick, the wood stick kind of droops a bit, like it's getting broken up.
I get one of the tree track spokes and
Would there
poke
be
it
a
with that.
loose? Would there even be a
You get what to
track
poke it
spoke
with?
that's loose?
Well,
Ty? No, you can have a spare spoke. It's probably one of your supply bags. But yeah, you poke it with the metal spoke. The metal spoke kind of sinks in, almost like it's being suctioned in, and now you have some slime with a train spoke spike in it.
I let go of the spoke right away.
You pull the spike out.
I like go of it right away. What they said to solve it.
Okay, yeah, you let go of it. Yeah, it's now just inside the
So it's
jelly.
like just standing.
There's a spike inside the jelly. Yeah, just sitting in there.
Okay.
Perfectly sitting in there, just kind of bobbing.
Well, it doesn't eat metal. And I don't think testing it with flesh would be a good idea.
Well, just find some homeless person or one of the poor people outside. You're in Siberia during the 1919s, 1920s. There is going to be a poor person that will eat that.
Except,
Just because it may be food. Except it would go against,
my character's moral codes.
Your whole, your pillar of sanity is being a moral human being. Well, if you go against your sanity thing, you just got to make a sanity check to see if you lose any sanity.
Gonna risk it. I'm not going to knowing.
Fails, loses 8 sanity. Ah! Oh, worship the slime god.
That thing turned into something with so many goddamn vaginas and teeth and penises and tentacles. What?
Holy shit! And
And that was just joking out of character, obviously. But yeah, I don't feel comfortable with anyone touching this, much less eating this stuff.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll at least take our sample with us back onto the train, and yeah, I think we might want to just stay in our train cabin for now, because
It jiggles. Speaking of which, as you pick it up to move it, you can notice that the nail is kind of rusted now, or the spike's rusted.
Should we maybe move that spike?
The one that's inside the gel?
Yeah, it's like,
I don't know. Your choice. Just nicely in there. Just sitting there. Bobbing. It's getting more rusty.
oh, it's getting rusty. I'm gonna get. Is there another stick around?
thinking rests
I'm gonna
Well,
grab.
Yeah,
a
there's no
thinking-
stick.
the thinking rests metal. Okay, this thing is not just acidic; it seems to have the power of oxidation.
I'm gonna grab a stick, and I'm gonna just try and poke the spoke off the slime in the track.
Okay, you poke it, and the stick goes through.
Oh, it
the
actually just
nail.
goes right through it. Ooh.
Yep. Comes out the other side. It looks like it's almost like it's hollow, and it like ate it from the inside
I
out.
move the stick left and right, with it still being inside it.
Yeah, it's hollow. It's just like a little rust, and some metal on the inside of it.
Am-
So it kind of breaks apart easily.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't feel safe on these tracks. I'm gonna poke the tracks with this. I'm gonna find another stick.
You know, And it swishes
Yeah,
through.
yeah. Obviously, the stick is melting again, so I'm gonna drop it before it gets anywhere near my skin, like the melty bit. I'm gonna see if I can find another stick and poke the tracks. Are the tracks solid, at least?
Yeah, it seems like whatever the slime is on the track seems to be breaking apart steadily, and they seem to be pushing it away, etc. Slash, they're make sure the tracks are in good quality, etc.
I think this ooze is fixing the tracks somehow. And the spoke you put down, it was basically hollow. A freaking stick went right through it. I think this slime is like transferring like the good quality metal.
Now the only thing is to put your own hand in it.
No, not putting my hand in it.
I don't think anybody should put anything
Yeah,
near any of themselves near that thing until we know what the hell did we get our hands on, because it seems to melt a stick, but
it basically
metal.
made that metal spike hollow essentially, like it sucked like the good metal out of it and it like put it into the tracks. So what we have like is like a shell of a spike. That's basically what it was, right?
So we basically made a tube.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go back to the train. Does anyone else feel like joining me?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go back to the train. I'm going.
Yeah.
Go
Take it
back
back to the train.
Yeah, I put. I
Nice.
take out the handkerchief of jelly. I put it into a corner, and I'm gonna indicate everybody. I'm putting it right here. I don't think anyone should go near that corner.
We can try to put it in a cup. Or
Yeah, that would be good. That would at least keep it from moving around. Yeah. Does anyone have a cup?
You put it in a cup. Now there's just this. There's a handkerchief with a cup over it with jelly inside of it.
Whoever walks into this car after me is
you
gonna be
know.
incredibly confused.
It's gonna pick up this and be like, "Oh, candy." Well,
Hey, technically, as long as I'm not actively doing it or knowingly doing it, that technically is not a violation of my moral standing if some guy decides to win a Darwin Award by eating something unknown. Technically, I think.
Maybe.
So yeah. A cloth of jelly on the ground with a cup on top of it. And I think we should stay out of that corner. Because I don't...
I think we should inform others to not do it either, unless we want someone else to find and go, and we have a big problem
What
on
exactly
our
are we going to tell them? I mean...
I'm not... Something that keeps them away from it. I don't care what exactly.
Oh, gods. I'm thinking we actually might want to have to keep that on hand when we're off the train.
Yeah.
or just have somebody eat it. What's the worst gonna happen?
We don't know what it is. Why will we eat it?
I mean, you could also just try and do some chemistry tests. You know it dissolves metal. You know it dissolves wood. It doesn't seem to dissolve cloth, and it doesn't seem to dissolve glass.
Wait a second.
If one of you wants to make a...
Wait a second.
Yes?
Is there a rat nearby?
Uh-oh.
You have outdoorsmen, so if you find a point, you can hunt down and capture a rat.
What?
Okay, if something goes really wrong, this is on you.
Only if we're in agreement
Yeah.
to test this thing on a rat.
I'm
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
Just yeah.
You can get a rat or a small child for one spend of outdoorsman.
Let's go with the rat. I don't want anyone want to come after us for kidnapping their kid and doing something weird and something weird
I look
happening.
for a rat. So why not Jordan point?
Yeah, spend one from outdoorsman because that's what you use for hunting. When you're not, just like doing. I said I spent my time hunting. The outdoorsman is like, I want to get the best cat in the tournament. So, yep, spend a point, and you'll come back with at least a rat. Roll a d6. Do you come back with a cat? You
Oh,
come
thank
back with a
God.
rat, not a cat. I'm kind of sad. I would have preferred you come back with the kitty. It just dissolves.
Okay,
So you're
I'm
gonna put the rat in the
carefully
gel?
undo the knots of the jelly, of the cloth that surrounds the jelly. When it's undone, I'm gonna step back behind it. Behind Hugo and like turn around. Because I don't want to possibly see this.
I'm a gun trained just in case.
Okay, you do that. You put the rat in the gel. The rat chitters as the gel kind of pulls over the rat, and you all watch the rat squeak, squeak, as it turns the claws. The gel kind of pulls the rat in, as you see the gel actually come up through the rat's mouth as it squeaks and hisses, silencing it before its head is pulled in with a little. And you see the rat not really thrashing anymore as the Jellicus kind of swallows it up. So you all can make stability
Thankfully,
checks for
I
watching
wasn't.
that.
I said I turned around because I did not want to watch this.
Oh, you can still hear it. It's not going to be as bad for you, but it's still the sound of a rat going. That's not the best sound to hear.
Alright, so
Suddenly you hear an animal go, and then.
okay, so what do we roll? D4, D6, okay.
Yep, D6. Okay, so everybody's taken this rather well so far. Kiri, somehow it bothers you the most. I like how you failed the stability check. The people that passed only lose one, so mark 1 point off your stability, Hugo, Blake, because you guys both passed. Kiri, you failed, so you lose one as well because you were looking away. If you had passed while looking away, you would have lost nothing, but you failed. So it's like, oh, that's not nice. So Blake's down to 6 stability. Cassandra's all the way down to 9. And Hugo's down to, I forget what Hugo's got, because you all have different stabilities. 6? Oh, yeah. The military guys both have 6, but they have okay loyalties. I mean, sanities. So yeah, you see a rat. It's now just kind of bobbing in this gel as you see parts of the rat kind of pop with little holes in it as it's getting dissolved.
Okay,
Please get
so
rid of it.
this
Please
is-
get rid of it. Please get rid of it. Just toss the handkerchief, please.
Oh.
Maybe just toss it overboard or out the window.
Oh gods. What was that? I didn't see. I didn't want to see, but I heard. Oh gods.
It melted the house. Was melted slowly.
Oh,
God.
good. Is it as bad as some of the scenes in the war?
I have no idea.
You guys are just incentivized. You guys are hardened to the like atrocities outside, but they still bother you at times.
But
You know,
this, but this is some sort of weird jello-like substance that seems to be somewhat eating stuff and dissolving things. What do we?
Well, outside of if you wake up in the middle of the night, just try and go back to sleep.
Okay.
That actually probably is good advice.
Yeah, but if you go back to sleep, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. So, how long until the train gets ready to head out? Boys?
yeah, it's gonna take a bit, but speaking of which, as you guys are getting your train set up to go out, uh, oh, the guy that's doing the switching. Those of you that are, since you guys are sitting in your train and you're near the front, you can see it. He's talking. He's been given those with history or art history or bargain can see that it seems that he's doing a deal with somebody. It seems like he's discussing something. Uh, something odd's going on.
Hmm?
Some
Do
sort
we
of negotiation.
do we go check it out or just stay out of this?
I think we should probably just stay out of it. He's probably just giving a bribe or something.
Okay. Wait, if that's the case, it might be a little bit worrisome for us because it might involve, well, might get it. We might be in deep trouble if it leads into a bad
Bad
situation.
situation as in compared to what we just seen. I think
Well, well, at least we could get rid of that. I don't know where we'll end up with this particular.
well, if you want to get involved, dearie, you can do so.
You know,
I'm. Looks like it's over. Never mind.
Hmm. Well, so like outside of art history and bargaining, what was the other thing you said? Yeah, basically it's like
pardon?
when I
I
was
didn't-
interpreting that as a bribe. You mentioned art history and bargaining. I think you also mentioned a third thing.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, it seems like he's being given something of value. It seems like maybe it's a based on its size, either it's a small thing or maybe it's a box with some Fabergé eggs in it or something else or gems, other things. It's something certainly that's uh, the fact that he's covering it up and its size means it must be something small
Mhm.
but very valuable.
Okay, so like I thought, bribe, maybe smuggling. But moment has passed.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess the train starts getting ready to head out.
Blake, yay! Blake, since you're up front because you're a military guy, you're helping the cast. Honesty spend. Are you going to spend assess honesty?
Sure, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, as you're watching this play out, as these guys discussing things, you notice that he seems to be kind of signaling, and you realize that they're signaling to the signal station where there's. It seems they're telegraphing to somebody up ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they shouldn't need to telegraph to anybody up ahead because you guys are already expected in the next town.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so who are they telegraphing? That, and it seems like he's trying to play it off with something else and other things, but it's definitively not. It's something's up.
Okay. Hmm. I tell the others.
Huh. That's kind of concerning.
Yeah.
What is?
They're
What's concerning about them signaling to somebody up ahead that a lot of you are coming soon?
Okay, so somebody's aware of our arrival, but
Is it friendly or
shouldn't
enemy? Is it friendly or enemy? This is the question.
hmm. Should. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not gonna say anything. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys can talk to the captain
Uh,
about it. What your thoughts are. By
Yeah.
the way, you haven't told the captain anything about
Yeah,
what you guys
I'm
have
thinking
seen.
that'd probably be the best, because last year we wanted to end up in the loony bin.
So,
Yeah, but
Captain Body.
if we come up with a similar scenario that gets out of hand, we
And
better
I'm willing
tell
to, at most I'm
someone.
willing to show us the photographs of the train, and that's it. That'd be at most.
Okay.
I mean, you can sew them the gel with the rat
we
in it.
tossed that out, remember? We
Where's
tossed
the
that
gel
out.
with the rat in it?
We threw that out the window.
I know, but you tossed it out. Well, tossed it out the door. You don't have any windows. Yeah, but you tossed it out, and it's kind of not where you tossed it.
Oh, so it's not on the ground, so it's with us still. Oh, great!
You tossed it outside the train. Where it landed on the ground, it's moved.
Oh dear.
Is it following us?
What kind of check would it be to, like, look around the train car that we're in to see if there's something in here? What kind of check would that be?
That would not be a check. That would, but if you want to know if something troubling is happening, that's a sense trouble check, which is a general skill. So you actually roll for that. Sense trouble. Everybody can roll sense trouble. If you want to
Well,
spend
I can't
points,
spend any
announce it.
points in it, but
How do I roll? What do I roll like,
D100.
for it?
Oh, D6, okay.
A D6. We're doing the D6. We're not doing
Oh.
call. We're doing
Oh,
trail.
okay.
Yes. Yeah. It was a bit easier just to make up the trail characters, etc. And also, it's a good way just to introduce people to certain ideas, which is the sanity mechanic. Plus, also, I like Gumshoe's stability mechanic of when it gets low, you start freaking the fuck out, so it becomes harder to do checks. So you go insane. So, you're freaking out is stability, whereas are you actually sane is sanity. So, you can appear completely normal with a high stability, but you're actually like screaming into the wind. So okay. Yeah, nothing seems to be out of the ordinary, guys. There's no. What are you talking about? There's nothing creepy going on. You can see. You hear like the howl, the meows of a cat in pain somewhere, and that's probably normal.
I look and see.
I mean, in this place, it is. It's not like there's some sort of gelatinous ooze creature currently dissolving a cat. I mean, where would something like that be? Where would it have got the nutrients to get that big? Someone would have had to start feeding it
Oh no.
I think we
needed a
DM'd the
bag.
town.
We God, great! We made a great. We made a bad decision by feeding it a rat. This can't get any worse.
Oh no, this is bad.
How could it not get worse? What do you mean, Wheel Girl? It can totally get worse.
Character doesn't know that. My character doesn't know that at the exact moment.
Anyways, yeah. Not gonna tell the captain
Yeah.
anything.
It doesn't matter if we tell him anything. He'll see that. But we'll just keep our
No,
mouth
what?
shut
See
that
what? See what? There's nothing to see. You just can hear a cat howling as though it's being eaten or attacked.
Should we just stay quiet and not tell anybody about this?
Well,
Or
you
just
decided to.
let this get a somewhat worse that they notice it, but they can't tell that
How would
we
they
had
even
anything
think
to do
we
with
had
it.
anything to do with it?
Don't know.
I think we should just go,
Although-
proceed as normal. Maybe ask the captain, like, who's expecting us? Or the conductor, who's expecting us? Let's just try and make this have some semblance of reality.
Yeah, you go. You get on the train. You start heading up ahead.
That needs anything bigger, we're definitely going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, and you guys can all make me another sense trouble check as you're heading out. Kiri doesn't feel like there's anything bad that could be happening. Blake's like, weird slime creature, black train, signaling ahead that we're coming. I have a knowledge of like horrible consumption and other things, and it's like at that point, as you guys are getting up, it's like, right. Semenov throws people into his train cars to feed the engines. The real life thing. But now it's a fantastical fictional version where rather than he threw them in train cars to feed a train box because he's a monster, he's throwing it in to feed a monster. Yay, fun times. Speaking of which, at this point, you guys are coming along. You go across, you pass a switching board. So, who's ready to get
Not
shot
me.
at?
Not me. I'm staying out of the way. One of you two guys deal
Well,
with
the good news is Blake and Ty aren't being shot at because they both made their sense trouble. So they're where bad things are happening.
it. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
So Blake and Ty, you're okay. Now then, as the strafing of, machine guns hits the train, I'm going to have Wheel Girl and Kiri both make me a roll. Make me a D6 roll. This is going to be... I'm not going to say if you want to roll high or low, but let's just say
I got 4.
it's not good for Wheel Girl.
Fuck.
As bullet fire goes through and Wheel Girl, you're where the open train door is. Right, well, it's closed, but there's no sandbags there to soak the bullets. So, this is gonna hurt. Let's make those 2 attack rolls. Hey, 1 missed. Good news, real girl. You got missed.
Accuracy's a bitch. Accuracy's a bitch.
On the other hand, he crit with the second one, so you know.
I probably do to reload.
8 damage.
Damn it!
8 damage.
I would
Real
imagine.
Yeah, it hurts. You get bullets in your side.
Ow!
You get this is probably, by the by, after you've left the switching station the next day. It's probably, like 6 in the afternoon. This is happening. You're getting shot at it, and as you guys can see, across the rails from you is that other train, and it's opening fire.
I.
What?
I
Hey, the Chernobog has guns. This is
The Chernobog train, it's shooting at you. The Chernobog train is shooting at you guys. So, well, you guys do have heavy guns on your train. You guys can go to those. Man, I didn't give them stats on your sheet. There's also the fact that you guys could go to your artillery cannon and try and use that. It exists. You do have an artillery piece. The only downside with the artillery piece is you, of course, got to... Okay, so you're suggesting artillery?
I don't care. Heavy weapons, artillery, boom.
Okay.
What our military guys
Send
better
your
do it
scouting
because
artillery.
they know better of how to
put your
operate that
suggestions.
thing.
I can go back.
Those of you that...
Sorry.
I'm going to point out the best person for artillery was Norman. So there's the good news and bad news. The second good news is don't worry. So I'm just going to say right now, Hugo and Blake, you guys can, since you're both military guys, you can use the artillery gun and spend firearms points to use it. It's not as effective as using explosives. You can also use explosives. Or you can spend 1 point from your physics pool for an auto hit on the train, if you have a physics pool, which represents you basically using your knowledge of physics to get a shot off.
I don't have physics.
So yeah, it's up to you guys what you want to do. There's a cannon that you can basically order for the people on the back to use.
I'll basically be screaming, "Get the cannon! Get the cannon!"
Okay, I choose cannon.
You know what? I don't think I'm going to take pictures.
No, pictures. Why not? I mean, are you going to shoot him with a flare gun?
Take a photo, I guess, but of our imminent death.
Have
Ting,
me
ting.
killed on a coat. Revolver. I have 2 guns. Use.
Okay, so Jim Pan is going to shoot at
And I
the
also
train.
shoot what's it called?
Physics?
You're gonna direct the people to fire at the artillery piece.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good job. Okay. Spend the point. And here's the good news. Since you spent the point, you don't have to worry about rolling, which also means you don't have to worry about the fact that other things. To be fair, you still are gonna have to worry about some other things, mostly physics. Physics catches up to people, don't you know? Okay, so the Jim Pan, if you're going to roll me a firearms, you can spend points if you're going to roll. Just declare how many and then roll a d6 plus that much. As you open fire on this train.
I'm using one firearms point.
Okay. Okay, do it.
So I hit the sun then. So 3.
Okay. You dig into the train, shooting into the metal. You don't really seem to get a good shot up, but you definitely hit it. It's an armored train, and yeah. Meanwhile, Hugo, you aim the cannon, or rather direct the people that are in the cannon, because the cannon's a few cars back. And it's not, the artillery piece fires. Since you're so close, you're firing straight up. It causes the entire train to rock and shake, and the sound roars out as the shell slams into the train and it knocks it off the tracks. Knocking out 2 of the more rear cars of this train, which pulls it off the tracks.
Bye, artillery.
And as you do that, as you guys, that's what happens when the artillery blast. It hits dust and dirt and ice, and the tracks are damaged from that. Roar up, and it's at that point you hear the train roar. As you guys start to pull away from it. You don't realize there's one problem, is that you guys, well, here's the good news. 1, you got away. Bad news, you need to come back this way. Worse news, it's faster than you.
Yeah.
Better news, the captain immediately at this point says, what the fuck? And he is going to order that basically when you guys get to the switching station up ahead to drop supplies and basically turn around. And now it's going to be a race against the train. As you guys are just, as the captain's like, nope, fuck this, we're out of Siberia. Fuck this, we're just dropping the supplies in the woods. Fuck this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, first up, everybody, because the train roared, literally roared. That's not normal in any form. You can all roll a sanity check. That train is roaring. No, whatever is on board is alive and it is angry, and everybody's failing. Everybody failed. Everybody
We're all
failed.
going slightly insane because we realized we pissed off something unnatural, and it's
And I
after
took
our
photos
ass.
of it. Even as we were being attacked, I took a photo of it.
Thank you for.
Yep.
Well, you can't be any worse than those earlier photos.
Yep, you all lose 2 sanity. So, you're all doing rather poorly. And you also all lose 1 stability. So mark off another point of stability. I marked off the sanity for you. So yeah, everybody off stability. Because it's like, also, speaking of which, I'm going to roll for the captain, who this is his first time dealing with all this shit. He's actually handling it pretty well. He loses 1 sanity like, oh, that's not right. Oh, that goes against... And for his stability loss, that means he only loses... Well, he still loses 2, technically, because he passed, and he's not aware of all this, so he's like, oh, this is nice.
Should we explain now because what just happened? We're all dead people now because it's pissed.
I go to my briefcase. I take out my photos. Specifically of all the photos I have of Chernobog.
Captain's gonna grab... No, we're keeping those. We're keeping those. If those are what I think they are. We need evidence.
Okay. Anyway. So, Demon Train.
Hmm.
I'm not paid enough for this shit.
The poor supplies you set out.
Hmm.
Tim's just the Timson is looking at all of you like, yeah, this is shit. This is literal. This is what we would describe as a shit situation.
Oh yeah.
I don't suppose maybe we're near some village, or maybe we could, or maybe God willing, we could buy dogs and maybe do dog sledding to get around the tracks and not have to be on the tracks near that thing.
One, we're getting to a switching station and turning back around and then fucking looking at, and we're just going to drop the supply cars, which are
Okay.
the back 4 cars,
Yes.
and moving everybody up.
Okay.
That's what I'm ordering. So, by the by, guys, you're now all going to be cramped because you had about 5 people in your
Okay.
car, so now you got 10 people in the car.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but you know, it's much worse than it was. Also, they're kind of cramped already because of the sandbag walls, etc. But hey, you're doing okay. Speaking of which, so that's the good news. Also, some of the sandbag walls are damaged pretty heavily. So you guys took the initial burst of gunfire and handled it well. Also, some of the train is damaged. As some of the guys pointed out, if we fire the cannon again, we're gonna have to drop the cannon car because it's firing it while moving. It's not meant to be fired while moving. That was so there's that. So there's the good news. There's the bad news. You get to a switching station. You guys are going to be helping with pulling the carts off. So you've now cut your train's weight in half, which will make it go a lot faster. You just got to hope the demon train doesn't catch up because it'll be riding right beside you guys. / you have to hope that it doesn't pull itself back onto the tracks. Though, how would it do that? It's not like it has arms. It's still a train after all.
I don't know. It's a demon train. It's scary. It's probably capable of just... I don't know.
Also, yeah, you guys got a bunch of supplies and stuff.
What kind of
Are you going to do
supplies?
anything with them? You know, you're just dumping supplies in the middle of the woods. It's a lot of ammo,
Maybe
mostly.
a little bit of ammo would be good.
Well, these are the supplies you're supposed to be giving to the whites, so you know, you could just be like, fuck it, and just abandon it. You could, you know, rig it up as a trap, whatever you want to do with it, because you're just leaving it there.
Just bring it in as a trap and just let the white deal with it as they may. We just need to get out of here before that demon train just finds us and it makes things worse than it already is.
Yep. Hugo, you can make me an explosive check. Spend some points if you want to make these a nice bomb. No points, man. Oh, wait, 1 point. You got to note it in the roll. So it should be +1. D6 +1. But okay, nice. You don't need to spend a point if you're just making the roll. You only need to spend a point if you're giving yourself a bonus to the roll tie. Yep. So that's technically a 5 total. So that's a good bomb. Let's see what happens to the poor Russian officer that finds it. It's like, oh, there's the supply. Oh, God. Is it a poor Russian officer or is it actually the train's conductor? Demon train. Anyways, you guys are going back around, retreating back around. You get on the switches, you turn yourselves around. They start coming back. You also, as you guys are leaving, you hear a, you know, and you know, your guys are just leaving. So first thing is, you guys are getting back into town when you hear that kaboom. It's that loud. 1, 2. You hear another roar, and the guy that was directing you guys back off the tracks. It was like, wait, what? You guys are back? The captain yells at him, yes, we're back. We're going through now. But wait, no, you can't go through. Yes, we are. But shouldn't you be in Vladivostok? What about the supplies? Where are the supplies? We dropped the supplies off, is what he says. The captain is just lying to the guy. And he's having Blake, you do the translation for him, basically. So
Okay.
you're the one actually making the check, basically. But yeah, you spend a few minutes translating back and forth between these two men, and then you guys are you can spend any social skill you want to try and make that work, Blake. So you can spend on any of your socials, the interpersonals.
Okay.
You know, bargain, bureaucracy, cop talk, flattery,
Reassurance sounds good.
interrogation, reassurance.
So how many points can you spend at once?
Oh, I'm just saying he only needs to spend one of them. It's basically what's his tact. What's he going to go with? It's up to Jim Pan what he wants to go with to try and make it so it's like, yeah, we're good. We're safe. We're not dangerous.
Flattery. On. So the roll. I spend one flattery.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So I roll or not?
No, you just make the spend and you do it. That's how
Okay.
that's how the investigative skills work. Is you just know
Yeah,
things, so you get some basic information. Again, investigatives are, if you have the point, you get basic details, and you always get basically a partial pass. When you spend, you get basically a critical success pass.
okay.
The generals, you just roll d6 and you spend points if you want to boost the roll.
Okay. So I spend the point in flattery.
Yep. And yeah, you basically flatter the guy, and he's like, oh, well, thank you. And you hear more howls of cats in the town.
Oh, great.
You know, that's nice. That's normal.
Oh, great. That thing is eating. I wish great that thing's eating cats all across the town. That's not good.
Also, have you seen the small tabby cat?
We were on a train, so no.
Okay,
Let's-
thank you. Have a nice day.
Let's.
Yep.
Oh, great.
Good luck.
I think we just let a thing out, just eating cats left, right, and center.
He started with cats.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna note. I got good news for you guys.
Yes.
Are you ready for the good news?
Yeah.
Depends on what your good news is, because sometimes you have weird definitions for good things.
As you're getting away, you're like, oh, hey, there's a bridge we can blow up to, slow things down. Because the train tracks go across it. So if the demon train is still following us, it's up to you. The captain's looking at the rest
Blow
of you
it.
because you're his technically. Okay.
I plan explosive skills right now.
Oh no, you will use the artillery cannon basically. So you'll drive across, you'll get far enough away, then you'll fire the artillery. Spend 2 points from explosives to make sure you hit. And then it damaged the train, and then Straxon's like, that will slow it down. And then you guys get ready, and you're like, hey, and you get the train restoked and get going. As you guys are getting out of, you see the demon train.
Yep.
You see it as it pulls up and stops at where the tracks are. where they've been destroyed and the bridge been destroyed, and then you just kind of see like that slime that's between the wheels
I'm
pull up
photographing
and
this.
just
Yeah, it
What do
looks
I
like it's
think
creating
it's
that
doing?
using that grease to create a bridge.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that me. Yeah. So we better. Yeah.
Let's go in.
Well, now we're kind of fucked because this thing has ways to get around, ways of stopping it. What do we do? What do we do?
Is
What
the
do we
train
do?
moving? Okay, we're on the train, I'm guessing, right?
So pedal to metal. Full speed forward.
Full C's board? Yes. Full C's board? Yes.
V9, are you here? Uh, hello?
Mm.
Hello? I'm resetting because now I think that Discord is
Yeah, I'll
said
reset
fuck
as
you.
well.
So we're
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It looks like that.
Uh-oh. That's not good. Where's
Yeah,
V9?
we mentioned
V9's
that.
gone.
His internet probably derped.
We'll wait and see how long it takes.
All right, what did I miss?
Okay, you're back. Good.
Well, you missed my internet dying and shooting itself.
So that I caught.
That was fun. I don't remember. I told you guys that the train that you blew it up, and then there was the tentacle arms that were pulling
Basically-
itself across.
What we
That's right.
And then basically we're watching an incident of this thing is unnatural and we're all basically screwed and just run. No trying to stop it because it knows how. It doesn't get over it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah,
you could
we
slow
still
it down.
got a
though. I
train
mean, it is
car.
taking
we
time.
can detach the
And also it-
artillery car.
Yeah, and also it's shooting with the guns on it. So let's see. I'm going to roll 3d6. Do any of those hit? Hey, 2 potential hits. Okay, let's see. Blake could be hit. Cassandra could be hit once. Hugo could be hit once as the gun is roaring out from this thing as it roars. And Nina could be hit. Oh, yay. Okay, so let's roll. I'm going to roll a d4 to. Oh, hey, that's not good. Yeah, wow, those are both Nina.
What?
Don't worry, Nina, you're fine. They're bullets. Nina,
Well,
2 HP. You're not a 10. Had time to heal. Don't worry, Nina, you'll live. Possibly. For reference, since it's going through the sand, hey, Nina's at -3. So if somebody wants to spend first aid points, because if you guys spend, if you spend 2 first aid points, you'll get Nina back up to 1 HP.
I could spend it.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, she's currently at -3. Every point of first aid you spend heals her 2 HP.
I have
That's our
21
first-
Then I'll
points.
spend. I'll spend 2
Okay,
points.
1
then.
point. Okay, that means that's a total of 6 points. So Nina's at 3 HP. So Nina, you get patched up. You got riddled by bullets because of luck. Wow. So it turns out the train engineer just recognizes Nina. It's like, get her. Target the doctor. Yeah. Sorry, that's a woman. I said target the doctor. Okay.
What?
Because it's 1919, I make a joke that half the Russian soldiers were really confused at the idea of targeting the woman doctor.
Oh, great. Oh,
Because
dear.
sexism.
I know
That's the
why.
joke.
That part I was just going. My character going, oh, great. We're seeing these Russians coming after me.
It was also a joke because you can't hear them because they're really far away and you guys are running away. Anyways, yeah, you make your way out. At one point, the captain is going to tell you guys to blast the telegraph wire with some machine gun fire to basically wreck it. As you guys are making it away, da 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 da.
I got so many nice pictures from this trip, including
Yeah,
the picture
yeah.
of the train creating a ramp for it to go a bridge.
Well, more like it was turning itself into a spider and
then.
crawling across.
Like I say, I got great photos.
Yes, great photos. Speaking of which, all of you saw that, so you can all make sanity checks. Oh, nightmares are real. Yay, nightmares are real. I can taste it from over here. That same acrid sense filling the air. Yay. Cassandra's doing okay. Nick's doing okay. What about Ty's not? Ty's character like, nope, that's not right. Speaking of which, actually, I think technically we'll go past because I'm pretty sure this thing's actually a higher difficulty. Let's pull it up. Let's pull up the foul spawn that is a Shoggoth.
Oh lord.
Hey, what?
Oh, don't worry about it, Wheelgo.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's only got a hit threshold of 3, but as a +5. Oh yeah, I love it. Oh yeah. Oh, good. Okay. So everybody that passes, which is Blake and Cassandra, you lose 1 stability. You're doing okay, and 1 sanity. Hugo, you lose 3 and 3. So you're down a bit. You're like, oh, this is not right. And Nina also loses that. So Nina went down to 5 and 5. There we go.
Ow.
Yeah. So in other news, so let's start with yeah, you see the greenish yellow putrid slime of this thing. The fragments of flesh from its previous victims and bones swim in the almost amniotic fluid. You can see where the cannon shot hit, that it's done some damage, that's already mostly healed off. You can see that it's pulled up scraps of metal and stone from the bridge to fill in the holes that you've left in the train as it roars at all of you as it's chasing you down. In other news, so you guys die at negative 12 HP. Just to give you a reference of how much HP. Technically, that's when you die. At 0, you are unconscious. The Shoggoth gets you. It will. It always hits with a D6 plus 5 for damage.
Is this going to?
If it catches up to you. But on the plus side, it's in a train. So there's the good news. You're running away from this thing. And it's like, yay! Thank God we're on a train. We're going to live.
Faster, 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 faster.
Hopefully.
Faster. You see they seem to have left a train car on the tracks to slow you down, and that's why the captain then directs people to shoot at because he realized, oh, they're telegraphing ahead. So yeah, you guys need to and some of you can make me athletics checks because he's going to have, or rather all of you can make me some athletics checks because he's basically going to have you crack and break off
I'm going to spend a point. I'm spending a point in athletics.
Weight. Yes. You can spend more than 1 point.
How many points can you spend up to it at a time?
You can technically spend your entire pool if you want, but it's not advisable. You only need 3 to guarantee you pass most checks.
So in a case like that, so when I spend it, it'll be like, what, basically it'd be D6 plus however many I spent, correct?
Yes, exactly.
So I spent 2 points.
Okay, roll the D6 plus 2, Jim
I
Pan.
spend 3 points.
And here, yep. So far, 1 crit, 1 basic success, 1 almost failure, and 1 success. That's another crit, technically. Yay! So basically, you guys, since you're in the front car, since they put a train car in the way to basically slow you guys down, you guys get the fun task of climbing over the engine, even the civilian, to basically break off pieces of that train, the wood of it and stuff, you know, lower the weight. You also get the fun task of basically ripping out the sandbags that are, you know, not doing anything anymore. They're just weight now because of all the bullet holes it's taken. So the car you're in, a large portion of it is now just unarmored. Basically, the entire... I'm just going to use the draw freehand here. I'm going to change this to another color. Basically, the entire section that got shot, this entire area here, and most of this area here, is now unarmored. So you're basically ripping out the sandbags because they're not going to provide you anything, and you're trying to get as much weight off because you realize they're going to try and slow you down. And it's a mad dash out of Siberia as you're in the garbage train running away. As you guys pass by, you see the guy that you had to convince that, oh no, let us go without supplies. And it seems that he's not doing so well. Mostly because it seems like he didn't slow you guys down long enough.
Fuck him.
Out of character, this is me saying out of character, his job was to slow you guys down, but you guys basically were able to convince him to let you get through. And because you did that, he got to see the train, and the train wasn't happy with him, and the train conductor wasn't happy with him. So he's out on the crossfield. You can tell it's him though, because he's still got his medals on.
You deserve this.
Fun fact, actually, they have a note in the actual scenario, because this is actually a scenario, and I'm going to now tell you the name of the scenario. It's called the Iron Devil.
Oh.
But yeah, I didn't want to spoil this one. If you convince him there's a second train coming by, he has a note on him that says basically no second train or last train or something like that. I can't remember. Because you are the last train.
Oh, so basically
We screwed the timetables up for that guy so bad.
Yeah, well, that's the entire thing, is if you don't screw it up, it gets worse because, you guys are going to get away. The scenario's over. It's a rather quick one. I wanted to run something simple just to give you the basics of how Gumshoe as a system works and, Call of Cthulhu things. I want something relatively simple that could easily end in a TPK.
That's usually how most that's usually how most Cthulhu games end.
Well, I'm just going to be fair. Everybody that's lost half of their sanity gets a mental disorder for a bit. So
Sweet.
Most of you, anybody that lost 3 or more in one thing gets a mental disorder. So in other news, Hugo and Nina have 2 mental disorders. Cassandra's doing rather okay. And Blake's doing Blake has 1 mental disorder.
Curiosity, where's like the list of mental disorders you can get in the Cthulhu games?
It depends on if you're doing trail or call. They have different orders. I'll need to actually pull it up, but it's actually, let me pull it up right now because we're technically over. We're just doing epilogue stuff. You guys get away. You live.
Dude,
fun things are going to
does like the Pulitzer Prize exist in this time frame?
Yeah, but you're not. Are you going to really publish
Halloween
that?
Expo?
Good job. Good choice. By the way, they have rules. For example, if you're attacked by a supernatural creature, you can lose up to 5 stability. For fun fact, if you have to kill a friend or loved one or one of your sources of stability, so those friends that are in there, you lose 8 stability. If you pass the check, you only lose 5. That's how valuable those friends are.
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah. And, that's one of the things I like Trail better because it's more for those long mystery games where you have a bunch of things that can go on and stuff. And so it's not as good as Call of Cthulhu for a one-shot, but I want to show it off. I'm possibly, depending on how Dragon Age goes, that may be what you guys do for the game that happens after everything goes to shit. Speaking of which...
if we don't survive... If we don't,
yes, Wheel Girl, yes. But first up, also it's just a good way because I am not sure what you guys will do. Blake, you only have, so you get shell shock because that's what they call it. So you have shell shock from this entire experience.
You get PTSD. Good for you.
Yay! Where's Nina? Because you saw a Cthulhu thing. Nina, roll me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll me a D8.
Oh dear.
Da 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 da. Sanity is
4.
harder to recover, by the by. That's also why I made sanity checks more prominent. 4. Okay, I think. Oh my. Oh hey, Wheel Girl developed a multiple personality disorder.
Not the worst possible thing that could happen.
Well, it's fine.
That's why I said, depending on what the personalities are, this could all just be basically a neutral situation.
Well, your other personality just worships the train as a god. And shell shock because you got shot.
True. I figured that was going to be the case.
And Hugo, you can also roll me a d8. Because you saw the horrible thing too and failed. So you also get it.
He passed with a 6. He got a 6.
It's not a pass. It's just which disorder does he get?
What did he get?
Paranoia.
Not the worst, actually.
So you become super paranoid of trains. And that's also what your phobia is, trains.
Luckily, she's in an era where planes are becoming more prominent, so that's not a real big problem.
And not for another 20, 30 years.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that's the Iron Devil. It's got a... So, for reference, the train is actually being controlled by a cult of Cthulhu people, actual Cthulhu people. Most scenarios don't have Cthulhu cultists because, well, Cthulhu cultists basically work like this. They're crazy and they rub their genitals on everything. They're kind of the pillage, rape, burn of the cults because Cthulhu sends any cultist that actually worships him dreams that basically tank your sanity and stability to 0. So you can't remain or pretend to be cool and calm. I'll be right back.